and disinformation and literally outright false information, lies, brazen, bald-faced lies. It's another thing to refuse to take responsibility and correct that. And I basically did as much as I can. I mean, there's some more things I can do, but you know, if the CBC Ombudsman refuses to take action, then I guess peaceful public protest is one of the next steps. So I'm just going to check the camera, make sure it's still running. And yes, it is. 17 minutes, 18 minutes. So we got some people coming up the stairs here. So, okay, we're going to go back to recording. Good day, sir. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we've been here for, you know, probably the better part of half an hour because I took a bunch of still photos before starting the video. We're about 18 minutes into a half-hour segment of video, so I think I'm just going to keep the video going for a bit. There's definitely people arriving here. There's definitely people seeing the signs. One guy who was off camera, you know, was interested, curious, took a picture. You know, who knows? You know, maybe he's taking a picture to try and use it against me. You know, maybe he's going to file some sort of complaint against me. You know, maybe he wants it for evidence of something. That's fine by me. You know, I'm posting this on YouTube soon enough, so you know, I really don't care what he wants to take his pictures for. But it'd be great if it was because you know, he's interested and looks into the facts. You know, I don't know who this guy is, but he could be associated with the news media. You know, maybe if he's, you know, a responsible journalist, and I'm not saying he is a journalist, but let's say he is. If he's a responsible journalist, you know, he'll run some searches. He'll run some searches on Carol Off and Unitarian Universalist clergy views and see what comes up. And he should find my blog post I wrote about how Carol Off was bamboozled by brazen, bald-faced lies that Sir Montgomery Fetter, and so on. So we'll see what happens. Basically, definitely got people showing up here. I'm not expecting you know, a huge turnout to this event, but it is a prestigious CBC event. We do this every year, the Massey Lectures. They're on important subjects like human rights. And one of the reasons, you know, like I would have protested no matter what the subject was tonight, just to, you know, let CBC know that you know, it's not a good idea to ignore someone who's telling you that you're spreading misinformation and lies, you know, on As It Happens and Daybreak and quite possibly CBC News reports and so on. But they've been made aware of that now. Top-level executives here in Montreal and in Toronto have been made aware of things. Helen Evans, who's the managing editor for CBC News in Montreal, knows what the situation is. She's refused to do anything to correct the situation. The top-level news editor in Toronto is aware. I think her name is Jennifer McGuire. I'm quite sure the last name is McGuire. I think the first name is Jennifer. Could be Jessica. She knows because, you know, the CBC Ombudsman told me that he had forwarded my emails that I'd sent to him to Jessica McGuire. And he also named the producer of CBC As It Happens, Robin something or other, whose last name I temporarily forget. So top-level CBC people, you know, news editors, are aware of the situation, and they've done absolutely nothing to correct it. So here I am, making it known to the public that this is not acceptable, and that really, you know, this is our national broadcaster. This is CBC. You know, people, you know, want to trust the CBC that it's not feeding them bullshit and lies and misinformation and disinformation and, dare I say it, fake news. But unfortunately, at least in this case, the misinformation and disinformation that CBC has broadcast to the Montreal public and the Canadian public, I think, can be reasonably described as fake news because it's completely and utterly false and highly misleading. Some of the information, I'm not saying it's all false, but some of the information is totally and utterly false. telling the public that there's no abuse whatsoever in the Unitarian Church, that's just a brazen lie. It has zero credibility at all. I mean, how can any organization, any church, no matter how big or small even, can have zero abuse of any kind? It makes no sense at all. And I doubt there's a church on this planet that has no sexual abuse. What community of a few hundred people, say not a few thousand people, or in the case of the Unitarian Universalist Church, about 1,500 or so ministers, you really think there's no sexual abuse committed by any Unitarian Universalist minister, to say nothing of Sunday school teachers, to say nothing of other church people? So of course there's abuse in the Unitarian Church, and yet Karloff and Ainsley, McLellan happily allow Sue Montgomery to spread outright lies on Daybreak, and as it happens, and as if that wasn't bad enough, they stubbornly, obstinately refuse to correct the situation by telling the actual truth. And one way of doing that, not the only way, but one way would be to interview me. And that's what I said, interview me. Ask me questions, I'll answer them. You'll get verifiable facts from me. You can verify everything. You can do some research and you'll discover that everything I'm telling you is very, very truthful and supported by evidence. A lot more can be said about what Sue Montgomery's telling you. So anyhow, let's take a look here and see how this video recording's coming along. So 24 minutes, yeah, so I got about 6 minutes left. So I think we'll keep yammering on here. Yeah, unfortunately, CBC journalists are lying about it on CBC program, so I figured this would be a good opportunity to express my displeasure. Right, we'll ask about the clergy abuse they have in their religion. So this woman saying she knows a Unitarian woman. So I said, well, you ask this Unitarian woman what they know about Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse, which, by the way, includes what the Unitarian Universalist Association of Canadian Steinman Elliott, barristers and solicitors, defamation lawyer, Maitre Marc-André Coulombe, quite aptly described as such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape in a cease and desist demand letter that he had me served with some years ago now, Friday, June 1st of 2012. I received in my email inbox a cease and desist demand letter in email form, and then I was later served that.
Is this thing have anything to do with what's on tonight?
It's got to do with CBC journalists spreading fake news, and so it's related. It's related, and it's definitely a feminist issue. It's about cover-up and denial of clergy sexual abuse by CBC journalists, including, unfortunately, female CBC journalists, such as Karloff and Ainsley McLellan. So yeah, we got people showing up here, and I think we're going to wrap up this segment of video soon. We've definitely got quite a turnout of people with the Massey Lectures. So the main thing is to just let CBC know that it's not a good idea to ignore someone who says you're spreading misinformation to the public and refusing to correct it. Oh, yeah. Ready? So, coming towards the end of the segment. Hey, a very nice smile. So, I think on that note, we were going to wrap this up and we'll start a new segment. Yeah, so there's about 3 minutes of video left, so I think we're just going to wrap this up and start a new segment of video.
Walk around a little bit or go on your phone.